Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. It's my Q&A one. So, when I hit 100 subscribers, I asked you guys if you had any questions that you'd like me to answer, and here they are. I've got quite a few, so bear with me, this may be a bit longer than normal, and I hope you enjoy it. Now the first question is, do you have hobbies other than reading? Now, with the mum of 2 young children, I don't have much time for hobbies, but I do enjoy cooking. I really take a good passion to it, and if I get time, adult colouring is quite therapeutic. The next one is, what is your favourite thing to do on vacation outside of reading? Now for me that's an easy question because I like going for walks in the countryside. I really enjoy nature. I love, that's another, I suppose it is a hobby as well, in the fact that every week I go out for a nice long walk at the top of a hill near here, and it really clears the air and it makes me feel fantastic. So yeah, I love doing that when I'm on holiday. Number 3, do you have a library card? And if so, how often do you use it? Now, before I joined BookTube, and before I had quite as many books as I have now, I did used to do a lot more. But now in general I go every 3 weeks, and I tend to tick out now 2 to 3 books. But I find it really hard to find the books that I'm looking for, and because I'm changing my mind about what I like, it's a bit harder now. But I have found some good YA ones, and I plan to look into those a bit more in future library visits. Number 4, have you ever visited another country, and if so, where and why? Now, I'm not really a traveller. I'm not really one for doing things like that, but I went to Corfu when I was in my early 20s with my mum, one of my sisters and my little brother, and I really loved it. We went to a lovely little village by the sea, and it was amazing. I look back and I just think that was before I met Chris, that was before my life changed, but it was a really lively break. And apparently I went to Malta as a baby, and that makes me think of Kieran, and that's one place I would love to go back to. So that's not very many, I'm afraid. I would love to travel more, maybe one day when my children get a bit older. Now, what is your favourite book of all time? Now, again, since I've joined BookTube, that is changing on a rapid occasion. I have so many great books that I read, but I think I'm going to go with my trusty old answer that I answered when I started BookTube, which is the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It is still my go-to book, that no matter what mood I'm in, no matter how I'm feeling in the world, if I go back to it, I will always smile. So, yeah. So next, number 6. What is your rainy day, literally or figuratively, genre to read? I actually do think that chick lit as a cosy read is quite good, because it's my one where it's more contemporary fiction, I think would be saying more now, rather than chick lit, but that sort of area is quite good. It's lighter, it's easier, it's more my cosy thing where I can just go off into that lovely cosy world, and it's a world where fairy tales are, in my opinion, so I love it. So that's my favourite thing to do when it's a really rainy day, especially if I'm in a bad place. A good old chick lit will cheer me up. Number 7, what do you prefer, tea or coffee? Now that is easy. I am a massive coffee drinker. In fact, I probably drink way too much. I love a bit of good old-fashioned Nescafe, for those of you from England, but I do like a bit of the flavoured coffees now, which are quite nice, and I really enjoy it. When I go out, that is my favourite thing to do. If I'm in a bad mood, give me a strong cup of coffee and I'll cheer up straight away. So I love it, definitely coffee. What is your favourite holiday? And that's another one for me that's quite easy. It's Christmas! I am a big Christmas fan. I've grown up with a family of 4 children, and my mum and dad always made sure that Christmas was our favourite time of the year. They made it so special, and now having children of my own, it's my favourite time of the year. I get just as excited as they do. I want advent calendars, I want stockings, I want the elf on the shelf. I love doing the elf on the shelf. I love seeing the mystery in my children's eyes, and I love seeing their faces when they see it all. I love joining in with all the Christmas food as well. It's fantastic. So easy on that one. I love Christmas. So number 9, what is your favourite movie? And again, another very easy question for me. It's Beaches with Scott Midler in it. It is probably a very old film. I think it was brought out in the sort of 80s and 90s. Can't remember the exact date, but I've grown up with it and I love it. It's about 2 really good friends who know each other from back and beyond, and they may be sort of pulled apart by circumstance and everything else, but when something happens to one of them, their friend just goes straight to them, and that friendship is so important. And actually, there is one song on there, The Wind Beneath My Wings, which is about this person who, the friend, you know, it's this person is their strength, it's their wind beneath their wings, it's the person who allows them to breathe. And to me that reminds me of Charlie, because she is the wind beneath my wings. She's the reason, she's my thing that will keep me going no matter what's going on, although I love my other sister Vicky too. They're both amazing. Do you have a celebrity crush? I am going to go with Hugh Jackman. I love him, he's so gorgeous. He is literally the fittest man ever. I've not really seen many of the X-Men films, but I love him in that. I absolutely adore him in The Greatest Showman. He is so gorgeous. I think he's just stunning. Sorry Chris, I love Hugh Jackman. Well, who is your favourite Tudor author? Now that is easy for me, that is Philippa Gregory. I have started picking up some other authors like Jean Plaidy and some of the other ones, but Philippa Gregory is my go-to one. I love her books, I love listening to them on audiobook. She's fantastic. Besides the obvious answers, family, friends, reading, what is the key to your heart? And that is nature, that's the outdoors, that's lovely little animals running around. And to me, at the moment, I would say the key to my heart is my cat, part of my family obviously, and my cats, because they're my little babies. And they're the things that make me smile, no matter what mood I'm in. When they come and give me a cuddle, it's the best feeling ever. Right, to number 14. From all the new books that you've read since starting BookTube, name one that you can't live without. And that is Old Baggage. There is various reasons for loving this, but one of the key ones to me is the suffragette era. I love the way it brings me back to that. It's about friendship, it's about class, it's about the fact that this lady never gives up the fight, that she never loses that fight. Neither of the two really leading ladies lose their fight, and I think that, to me, that's all inspiring, and it does take me back to my roots, so I love that book. By the way, Charlie, I want that back. She's been borrowed for ages. The next one is, if you could be added as a character to any book, which book would you be added to? Now, I found this question really, really hard, because I love so many of the books. I could go for very easy answers like the Harry Potter ones. I could go for chick litty books. But this is the book that I've read very recently and I related to, and that is The Silhouette by William Ray Middleton. I related to that because, as you guys well know if you've seen that video, I related to the fact that she hid the girl that hides behind the veil. I'd love to be a part of it. I'd love to be her friend. I'd love to encourage her. And I'd love to be with that gorgeous guy that's, you know, the leading male. He sounds gorgeous. So, yeah. That would be my answer at the moment. Next one is, what is your least favourite thing about BookTube? And to me, that's time restrictions. If I had more time, I would record more videos. I think sometimes I find that I make so many in advance, just because you never know with being a mum what's around the corner. So that can sometimes be quite restrictive. And sometimes, I'll be honest, my imagination for sort of new inventive videos can be a bit more challenging. Although hopefully that will change as I grow into BookTube. Number 17. If you could live in a fictional town, what would it be? Now, I have really, really struggled with this. Again, did I go for the obvious answer like one of the Harry Potter ones? But a lot of the other towns and villages that are in a lot of these books are in the countries now. And I found I really struggled. But then I thought about one of the Page Toon books that I love, which is One Perfect Summer. I think that's one of my favourite Page Toon books. And there is a town which is still here in this country here, it's called Cambridge, and it's got the lovely rivers in it, it's got the university in it, it's a beautiful village, beautiful place, and I really want to go there. So hopefully Chris will be hearing this and he'll take me there at some point, because I would love to visit that, and I think it's somewhere that I would really love to live. I love the feel of it. It's brilliant. What is the best book you've joined since joining BookTube? Now, again, I could list so many, but actually, and that's before joining BookTube. So that was slightly harder, because obviously BookTube has completely changed me. But a book that surprised me was actually The House with Chicken Legs. It is a young person's book, but it's got such good morals, it's imaginative, it's creative, it's got some really bits where I cried. It was just absolutely brilliant, and I cannot wait to read the author's next book. But yeah, that would have to be the answer to that. But like I said, I read so many good ones. Now, what do you think the most underrated book is spoken about on BookTube? The underrated book spoken about on BookTube. Now to me this is actually quite an easy one, and that is This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. I got lent this, my sister Charlie let me borrow this, and it is amazing, especially for anyone from the UK. You have to pick this up. We all judge the NHS, we all judge our doctors, especially when we're waiting in the queues these days. But if you actually see what they go through and you're reading what they go through, I just empathise with them and I felt for them, and I really made me rethink my hospital visits, and especially the amount of them I'm having at the moment. But yeah, so I think that book needs to be raved about. A lot of people need to read that and shout out to it, because obviously we hear about a lot of the books authors that have got books out there like loads of books like Page Turner, like there's so many books that are contemporary fiction or horror or thriller. There's just so many, but this is a book that's real life and it needs to be spoken about. Non-fiction, I think, needs to be spoken about more. So yeah, I will shout that one out. What is the overrated book on BookTube? I am honest, I found this really hard because I couldn't think of anything. I really struggled to think of one. I have said The Time Traveller's Wife because a lot of people have enjoyed it because of the time travelling element in it. But I struggle with it. I found it very dated and I didn't like it. But that's my personal opinion. Everyone that likes it, well, that's your opinion, and I totally respect that. But to me, that's probably the only one I could really think about. Now, this is a more lovely personal one, and this is question 20. How did you meet your fiance? Now, originally we met at I think it's like a snooker kind of club that's closed down a long time ago called Riley's. We met there. I saw him there, and actually I was ogling one of his friends. But he did walk past me and I did take a look, and I never forgot him. And when we met at a party 2 weeks later on Christmas Eve, it's one of my that sort of family party, and he knew one of my distant cousins, and I got introduced to him. And out of all the people in the room, there was something about him from that second I laid eyes on him that night. I couldn't forget. We've had our obstacles, we've had our ups and downs, and we even a break at one point. But there was something about that night where I'll never forget meeting him, and my eyes just couldn't go off him. And then, yeah, I'll never forget it. I can even tell you what I was wearing that night. I could tell you what he was wearing. And I could tell you that yeah, by the end of the night, we had our first kiss, and I never looked back. He's given me so much, so thank you, Chris. I love you. Number 22. Which is your favourite book you've read since joining BookTube? Now again, I could list so many, but I think the one I related to the most was Book Club by Debbie Tung. Obviously it's a graphic novel, so I didn't expect to like a graphic novel, but it's about book love, and I related to so much of that book. I literally was in it and going, I could agree with this, and this is me, and it is me. It's all of us that love books. It's all of us that are addicted to our books, and that why we do BookTube, why we shout out about it, why we share our love for BookTube. So yeah, that's going to be my answer to that. Number 23, can you remember a book you read or enjoyed when you were little? And that is actually The Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. I love that book. I bought it actually the other day when I went shopping with Charlie. You would have seen that. You might either be seeing that now or have seen it after. But yeah, I found that in a charity shop. I found the whole series, so I'm actually going to beg Chris to get me more of them, or I will try and hunt for more of them. But they were amazing. The transporting to a different land was just fantastic. The imagination in her writing, she is an amazing author, and those Faraway Tree books are legendary. So many, I think, of the children's fiction authors nowadays use that sort of empathy, and they use the magical lands. So I've seen a lot of that sort of thing coming out in a lot of books that Mia's read, a lot of the Rainbow Fairy books, a lot of the books where it takes you to a magical land, and I think they're so relatable. I think Animal Magic is another set of books that remind me of The Faraway Tree. But yeah, they're my favourite books of childhood. But I did enjoy it. Now, thank you guys for asking me these lovely questions, and obviously feel free to ask me anything you want in the comments below. If there's anything that hasn't been mentioned on these questions that you want to ask me, feel free to ask. I'm honest, but I will always be honest with you guys. And thank you so much for getting me to the subscribers. Currently I'm now over 145 now, and that number is growing, and I am so grateful for all of you for helping that. BookTube has just been amazing. I can't believe I've only been doing it a few months and I'm already at this stage. I love every second of it. I love recording for you guys. I love seeing your comments. I love I love the books I'm reading, and I love the change in me since I've joined this book. I actually watched my newbie video last night, And it was so weird because I think I've changed so much in that time. And I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I do that? And I filmed it at that angle and I didn't do that. And I would probably change this now. But do you know what? I'm just so glad I joined. So thank you all. Thank you for your continued support. And yeah, I look forward to doing more videos for you. So guys, I will always be putting up on a Monday and a Friday, and my extra videos will go up on a Wednesday. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.